It all began when I suddenly felt at a loose end in my 5th grade summer holidays. Summer camps were over, friends were out on holiday, and there was nothing really exciting on TV. So I sat lost in thought, and all the anecdotes of my mother's childhood in a small Indian town and my father's innumerable storytelling sessions played through my mind. And hey presto, my fingers were on the computer keys, and before I realized I had embarked on the story of Mishti. Set in the 80s, Mishti is about the life of a simple girl living in a small Indian town, where children learn to enjoy and appreciate the pleasures in everyday life without taking recourse to technology. Every second of writing this book gave me pure joy, and I loved it. It was a hobby that I didn't have to excel in. After completing the book, I showed it to my parents, just to prove that I was indeed using my holidays productively and not secretly creating a Facebook account. My mother rather enterprisingly took it up as a mission to get Mishti published. I initially thought, mission impossible. Me getting published? No way. She sent it to several publishers, and we'd get an occasional response. And those who actually bothered to reply typically said, we publish books for children and not by children. But why not? I wondered. Are children not better equipped to write for children? After all, we know what we like, all the silly things we laugh and talk about. So it's as simple as that. I went to the extent of questioning the sanctity of democracy when my mother calmed me down and asked me to relax. Another publisher asked me, where's the plot? But I wondered, why do we need a plot in the first place? Why can't we understand the joys of a simple life? Because honestly, turning into some kind of fairy princess when you're an orphan is sure good to read, but rather unreal, don't you think? When you read a Percy Jackson or a Harry Potter, don't you have that sad longing to be like them when you know it's impossible? I didn't want that for my readers. Mishti was just an ordinary girl who dared to break conventional attitudes. She played gulli danda with the boys, beat the boys at cricket, and decided to take a calf out for a walk when she wasn't allowed to take a dog. All this turns a dull, monotonous life into something exciting and wonderful for a kid, something any child is capable of emulating. I also wanted the grown-ups to relive their childhood memories through Mishti. I got a lot of great effort, hone your skills, I'm sure you'll be a great author one day sort of replies too. Basically, a polite way of saying, kid, don't get too big for your boots. After all this, I regretted having mentioned my age. Perhaps I should have claimed to be an adult. All these rejections made us pretty much forget about the whole thing and revert to our routine lives. At the nick of time, we got an email of acceptance from unicorn publishers, and I was thrilled. Not only because my book would get published, but also because someone had finally liked my story. But I knew that more work was required to get Mishti published and that this was only the beginning. Doing the illustrations, designing a cover page, creating a Facebook page, giving interviews, requesting and finally getting a fabulous review from Dr. Kalam, visiting several schools and speaking to their students. All these things miraculously happened in the matter of 6 months, while school and exams proceeded normally during this time. I've often been asked, is life any different now? 6 months ago, I was a schoolgirl full of beans and mischief. I remain one. My friends have remained the same towards me, and I still get screamed at for a messy room. That said, I experienced living the life of two contrasting people. In the morning, I'd be fearless and confident, speaking to kids at other schools about Mishti. And right after those 2 hours, would rush back to school to resume studies. This kind of juggling two things at once wasn't easy for me. But I soon got the hang of it and have in fact learned to plan better. But more importantly, what I've learned from this whole publishing journey is how not to give up. No matter how much the odds are against me now, I try not to lose hope. I hope that after listening to my story, you feel empowered in some way to read, to write, to question, to persist, and to discover. Shouldn't children participate more in going beyond the rules that constrain us and create the future that belongs to us? Isn't my story one of how a child's simple imagination can become a published book? Age is but a number. We have a choice to make. Either we destroy the ordinary or do just a little to make the ordinary extraordinary, for the paradigms are limitless. Thank you.